playing guitar can sometimes feel like a roller coaster ride. There's ups, there's downs, there's highs, there's lows. Everything's going great, you're doing really well, and then you get really bummed out and frustrated. So one of the keys is really try to avoid those major frustrations. So here's something that you want to keep in mind. In all my years of teaching, here's the number one thing that I'll tell students to encourage them. Are you ready for this? I have never seen a student who played the right things in the right way and put in a reasonable amount of time not get better. Just doesn't happen. It's sort of like a law of nature. If you work on the right things and do them in the right way and you put in some time, you're going to improve. So that's the good news you should tell yourself, right? Get excited about that because that means you can get better. That means wherever you are right now, you're going to improve if you just stick with that simple principle. Do the right things in the right way, put in a reasonable amount of time, and you're going to get better. So a couple of other ways that we might want to look at to avoid frustration, right? Let's look at way number one. You have to get over the hump. So whatever you're playing, whether you're a beginner just starting out or you're a guy who's been playing for years and you're working on something new, anytime you do something new, there's going to be sort of this hump to get over, right? It feels really rough until you get over there. There's going to be a period of time where you want to give up. It's just not working. It doesn't sound good. It's kind of like, think of a beginning violin student, right? It's all that squeaky bow sounds. It's terrible. But then all of a sudden, once you get past that, everything is much better. It's the same thing with anything, and certainly true for your guitar playing. Once you get past the hump, it's going to be better. The second thing to avoid frustration to think about is you got to think long term, right? You want to think real long term, not just getting over the hump, but not what your playing sounds like today or next week, but what's it going to sound like 6 months from now if I keep practicing the way I'm doing it, right? So many times I see players go, this sounds terrible when they're starting out. It's like, of course it sounds terrible. You're just starting out. It's not going to sound great the first time you do it. Even players that have been playing for a while, if you're working on a new lick or a new technique, it's a little rough at the start. Don't try to listen to how you sound now. Think about how will I sound 6 months from now if I keep practicing on that. The third thing is, remember, you will plateau sometimes. I don't care if I've talked to a student who's been playing for a year or one who's been playing for 20 years. They all have the same story. Man, I feel like I'm really getting better, and then I just plateau. And then I feel like I'm getting better, and then I just plateau. So if you know that, remember, don't worry about it. When you feel like, I'm going, and I'm stuck, you're going to be stuck for a while. So keep working. When you get to a plateau, the one thing you want to do is just relax and know, look, this is natural. It's a natural progression in anyone's advancement. So there's going to be some big shoots and then some plateaus and some big. So on those plateaus, just don't worry. Keep working. Dig into the stuff you need to work on, and you'll definitely get past that. So the fourth way to avoid frustration is to focus on process over outcome. So what's that mean? Well, it's really similar to everything we've been talking about, which is don't judge yourself too harshly on what things sound like or where you're going. Just keep working on the stuff you know is important. Focus on the process of practicing, and the outcome of getting better will naturally occur. Don't worry about that getting better. Just focus on the process and you'll get there. Remember what I said earlier. I have never seen a student who practiced the right things in the right way and put in a reasonable amount of time not get better.